Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and this is my attempt at beating Pokemon Emerald using only an Absol. Absol's a really cool design for a Pokemon with an absolutely bonkers attack stat. The rest of his stats are pretty okay, and definitely not the worst that we've seen or had to use in a solo run. We also get access to Swords Dance and a surprisingly large variety of moves by TM. I don't think this will be the worst run we've ever done, not by a long shot, but at the very least, I have a feeling that the first gym will be a bit rough, and then the fighting gym. And then Tate and Lies are always a struggle, but with being a dark type, we may not get completely rolled, but only one way to find out. As we start our journey, I desperately try to think of a nickname, and now in hindsight, I kinda wished I'd named him Moon Moon. If you remember that particular meme, go take your back pain medicine. To start though, the rival sends out Torchic, and it's not even a contest to be entirely honest. Our ability is Pressure, which is okay I guess. It makes it so every move takes 2 PP instead of 1, but the problem is, I don't think our defense makes us bulky enough to be able to stall Pokemon out in that manner. We don't learn any defense buffing moves or attack lowering moves, so I don't think that we'll be able to put much use to it. Our nature is a neutral one, which is better than giving us a stat that we wouldn't need, so with that, it's off we go. The journey through the forest is an easy one, and thankfully we don't get poisoned a billion times like in other runs we've done, but the true challenge ahead is going to be Roxanne. While our attack stat is massive, until we get to our hands, paws, teeth on Bite, we're not going to be able to do too much damage. At the very least, let's go ahead and see how we do as we make our way into Rustboro and barely manage to take down the trainers in our gym. With the first Geodude, it can honestly go either way, and it all depends on how much time it spends with Defense Curl. If it focuses more on the attack, we're not even able to get past the first Geodude. If it spends more time defense curling than attacking, and with the right amount of luck, like in this attempt, we can get to the second Geodude at about 30 HP. With the second Geodude, we do get hit with Rock Tomb all the way down to 7 HP, but thankfully we're able to get some decent luck and take it out. The Nose Pass, however, is much tankier than the Geodude, and is able to take us out with a single shot, and that was the best of our 9 different attempts. At level 21, we finally learn Bite, and we can take both of the Geodudes out with a single attack. With Nose Pass, we can take it to half with Bite as it uses Rock Tomb, and then the Berry activates. The next turn, we bite it and land a critical hit to take it out and win the first badge. Now, if you've watched these challenges before, or even played the game, you know that there is a lot of Magma and Aqua plotline. I typically don't cover the smaller battles, including a couple of the admins, but I will try to cover the bigger battles with people like Maxie and Archie, especially given the fact that they can brick wall you, depending on the Pokemon you use. Also, if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've been releasing one challenge video a week since January, and working steadily to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're actually over halfway there, which is pretty cool. Now that Twitch lifted the multi-streaming ban, I'm actually hoping that I'll be able to do some additional YouTube streaming with my other non-Pokemon related content. The easiest way to keep up with me outside of here is to go to the Discord, or even hang out on Twitch. As we go through the next patch of the game, we find ourselves in Dewford. With Brawly, we quick attack the Machop and he karate chops us. The super effective damage is really going to rack up, but we can take it down without too much of an issue. The Meditite starts trying to focus punch, so we can quick attack it and then bite it to take it out, thankfully not losing any HP to it before the big guy comes out. We could take Makuhita to about half with quick attack, but then the berry activates and the Vital Throw takes us to red. We land another quick attack to bring it to just below half before it lands another Vital Throw to end us. We do end up trying this a handful of times, but we're just not able to deal enough damage to the Makuhita, and its attack wrecks us. Even if we get a critical hit, it takes it to red, the berry activates, and then Vital Throw just monstrously destroys us. Rather than stay here and level up, we take advantage of the fact that we can move on. We fumble around blindly in the cave, deliver the letter to Steven, and then head off to Slateport, and continue a bit more of the Aqua plotline. While just leveling there is the easiest choice, I like going this particular route because it allows us to get stronger while completing a little bit of the game as well. After completing that and learning Swords Dance, it's time to try again. With the Machop, we can take it out in 2 quick attacks. With the Meditite, we go ahead and use Sword Dance while it hits hard with Focus Punch before we take it out. After that, the Makuhita is last, and we manage to take it out with a single shot as well to allow us to win the badge and also continue with the journey. After that, it's time to head north of Slateport, and this is the location of arguably one of the harder Mei fights. Now, with Torchic's final form being a combined fire fighting type, I have a feeling it may be a little bit tricky to defeat, but let's find out and see what happens. Wingull is first up and is the first to go down after a critical hit bite. When Combusken is out, we hit it with Bite and we do flinch it, forgetting Bite is resisted. We swap over to Quick Attack and take it to red as it absolutely nails us with Double Kick. From there, another Quick Attack is able to take it down. Last up is Mei's Lombre, and we can take it to yellow. It hits us with Swift, and then we can take it out next turn. So honestly, that wasn't too bad. The biggest concern was Combusken and Double Kick, and that's not exactly the best fighting move to use. After that, it's time for Mauville City, and it's also time to teach Wally a lesson. He didn't even know what hit him. Anyway, from there, it's time to head to the gym, and this is usually where we hit a metaphorical brick wall. Watson has some pretty strong Pokemon, and in a solo challenge, you get wrecked by Thunder Wave very quickly. With Watson, he opens up with Voltorb, and we start by biting into low yellow as we get hit with Shockwave. Then Voltorb gets healed up, and we end up using Swords Dance to boost our attack. We then bite it, flinch it, and then knock it out with Quick Attack. Electrike is next, and a critical hit Quick Attack takes it out but paralyzes us on the way out. With Magneton, we're getting chipped away by Shockwave, and unfortunately, we can't do much. Both Bite and Quick Attack are doing about the same damage, but then we start spending some turns paralyzed, and all too soon, we end up getting knocked out. With the second attempt, we open with 3 Swords Dance as Voltorb continues to Shockwave us, and then with our maxed out attack stat, we're able to go ahead and take him down. Electrike meets the same fate, and then with Magneton, we can take it to half, but we do get paralyzed before it also ends up going down. And then after that, it's Manectric, who also goes down pretty easily to win us the badge. Having a Pokemon with a busted attack stat and a move that only lets him go higher is definitely a lot of fun to work with. After that, it's some more travel, we listen to some gossip at Meteor Falls, and then from there we can go ahead and take a cable car up the side of an active volcano and move forward with the first Maxi fight. Mightyena opens up with Sand Attack, which makes us miss our first turn. From there, we do get hit with a few attacks and Maxi Potions up, but ultimately our accuracy doesn't get in the way too badly and we can take it down with 84 HP to spare. Zubat is next, and we both miss our opening attack, but we do end up connecting with our next slash to take it down. Last up is Camerupt, and we do end up missing not once, not twice, but 4 times in a row, which allows the Camerupt to take us down with repeated Embers. The next attempt, though, is the exact same, except that instead of missing like it's our job, we end up connecting to be able to take it out and allow us to move on. It's a short trip down the mountain, and I don't know if I was extra sleepy this day, but it takes a good while to get through the gym. I end up fighting almost every additional trainer before we make it to Flannery. With Flannery, both the Numel and the Slugma are both an easy one-shot with Slash, but truthfully, they weren't the ones I was worried about. Camerupt goes to yellow and nails us with a nasty overheat before it also goes down. Torkoal doesn't quite go to half, hits us all the way to 1 HP with overheat, but sadly we don't crit our next attack and the Torkoal takes us out with Body Slam. The next attempt, we decide to go ahead and do a reliable Sword Dance since Numel can't do much to us. We get hit with a soft overheat, and then from there we're able to take down each of our Pokemon in a single shot, and with that, we move on. Now that we're halfway through the gym leaders, Absol's performing both better and worse than I had hoped. I figured that most of the gym leaders would be a first try victory, given the fact that he has a good attack stat, but so far, most of them seem to take 2 or more attempts because we have to set up a sweep. That's not necessarily a problem, however, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to do that, this way I could replace some other move with Swords Dance, but Swords Dance is just too good. But either way, that does end up bringing us to Norman's gym. With Spinda, we open up with Slash and it uses Teeter Dance. From there, we end up smacking ourselves 2 times in a row before finally breaking through and using Slash again to take it down. The Slacking is next, we slash, it yawns, we dance, and then go to sleep, and then it immediately takes us out. Round 2, and you know what to do. Blue Skidoo? Anyway, Sword Xansar cares away. The spin does up first, and we take it down with a critical hit slash. When slacking is out, we use Sword Stance on its counter turn, and then take it down with a critical hit slash. After that, both the Vigoroth and the Lanoon are a one-hit, and also proves what I meant with my last statement in needing Sword Stance to be able to make some of the battles easier. With that, we're able to make our way through the Weather Institute with relative ease and go to fight May. Before we do that, even if they're fairly easy, since they're technically higher rank than the Grunts, would you want me to recap the admin battles? Usually they're pretty easy, so I just kind of skip ahead to the head of the organization. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, we go to easily my favorite city of Gen 3 in Fortree City. I actually made a city designed like this in a D&D campaign that I was running, and I was able to make the players have to fight on bridges and chutes and ladders, and I really miss being a DM sometimes, but time is an illusion, and I know that I have none of it. Winona time. Winona first sends out Swablu, and knowing it can't do much, we open up with Thunderbolt to test damage. It does actually end up taking out in a single shot, and next up is Tropius. We swap to Slash and take it to about half as Aerial Ace does a little, and then we can take it out next turn. Pelipper is yet another Pokemon that enjoys stalling as much as humanly possible and uses Protect, then gets hit with Thunderbolt for a one-shot. Skarmory is up, and we can take it out with a single Thunderbolt as well. Finally, it's Altaria, and we can take about a third of its health as it begins dancing. It dances again, and we swap over to Slash, taking it to red as the berry heals it a little. We get rocked by Earthquake, but we can take it out with a final slash and call it a day. With another gym out of the way, it's time for some more plot and also another maxi fight. Mightyna's first, and we Thunderbolt it to low yellow as we get scary faced. Maxi then heals up and we select Slash and knock it back to yellow. We get hit with Swagger and naturally smash ourselves in the face, doing quite a bit of damage. Takedown doesn't hurt too much, and then we can take it down. Crobat outspeeds and hits us with a wing attack, and in a moment of true defiance, we say, "You can't fire me, I quit," and knock ourselves out. From here, it actually does take a few attempts, but it's not the strategy that has to change, it's just that Absol does not have the best mental fortitude. More often than not, we're just taking ourselves out and saving the enemy the trouble. We do finally get an attempt where we break out of confusion early and manage to take down the Mightyna and the Crobat without too much trouble, and then when the Camerupt comes out, we're able to take it out in a single slash. With Maxi out of the way, we do have a decent bit of plot and some pretty easy Aqua battles. Like I said, I won't cover those, so more often than not, they wouldn't actually add quality to the video. So what we're actually going to go ahead and do is fast forward to the Tate and Liza fight. Now, Tate and Liza won't fight you without two Pokemon, so we just use our Wingull that we use for Fly as cannon fodder against the two of them. They first send out Xatu and Claydol, and we open up with Absol and the fearsome Wingull. Wingull immediately gets decimated by Psychic, but we do take the Xatu down to red with a Thunderbolt. Ancient Power connects, but thankfully no type of boost. Tate and Liza heal up as we swap to biting the Claydol, given the fact that it becomes terrifying with the Omni boost as it uses Earthquake. With the next bite, we can take it down as the Xatu only uses Calm Mind. We can take the Soul Rock to red with a bite and then get Confuse Raid. After that, we smack ourselves the next turn and get Flamethrown. From there, we can take out the Soul Rock, but things aren't looking good. It's a long battle between knocking the Lunatone to healing range, the Xatu Calm Minding, and the twins healing up the Lunatone, but we do finally take it down. Now in hindsight, I should have used Slash rather than Bite and Thunderbolt, given how much time the bird spent Calm Minding, but I didn't, and it ends up confusing us and we knock ourselves out once again. This battle takes a while, and it's once again due to poor confusion luck, to the point that I'm worried about using Swords Dance because we may just smack ourselves even harder. About a dozen attempts in, and we've gotten a pretty good groove of taking down the rest of the team while leaving the Xatu. The confusion luck is always going to be a gamble, but aside from Confuse Ray, it literally can't attack us any other way. This particular battle, though, the luck lines up the way we need to until we get down to only the Xatu. We do end up smacking ourselves repeatedly, but we do finally manage to take it out and win the badge. As we're going through the remainder of the Magma and Aqua plot lines, I believe this is our last Archie fight, and this one actually takes a good amount of attempts as well. The Mightyna has a pattern of scary facing us to lower our speed, then uses Swagger, and we become Super Trunks in the fact that we can hit really, really hard, but we're too slow, and then also just end up smacking ourselves more often than not. After about 8 attempts, we open with Slash, get swaggered, but don't smack ourselves and take it out next turn. Crobat is next, and it hits us with a wing attack as we hit it hard with a critical hit Slash to take it down. Last is Sharpedo, who uses Taunt, and we do another Slash to take it out and win the battle. After saving the world and witnessing the cinematic beauty that is Gen 3 Pokemon graphics, it's time to face the last gym leader of the group and call it a day. Juan sends out Love Disc first, and we open up with the Swords Dance, and after that we can start wiping out his team as well. Thankfully, we can also outspeed them, and that gets us all the way to Kingdra. Now, I had to do this battle twice due to, again, horrid confusion luck, but with Kingdra, we open up with Bite, get the flinch, and then swap to Slash to take it out and win us the final gym badge. After that, it's time for us to head through Victory Road, but before we get too far, it's time for another Wally fight in the final fight that we deal with him. Now, I have to admit, while it can fill you with a certain sense of dread, if going through a long cave, I kinda like the added challenge of fighting a rival towards the end of the path when you and your Pokemon are half-conscious and you're down to your last moves that you can use, but maybe I'm a strange one. Wally first sends out Altaria, and we both open the battle by dropping some sick dance moves. It can hit us first with Aerial Ace, and we drop it to what looks like exactly 1 HP before Wally heals up and we hit with Thunderbolt. It spins the next turn dancing, and we can finish it off with Slash. Delcatty is next, but immediately goes down, and next is Magneton, the main reason I wanted to boost my attack. Magneton goes to yellow with Slash, thankfully misses a Supersonic, and then goes down next turn. After that, Roselia and Gardevoir are both one-shots with Slash, and with that, we're able to do the last little bit of the game. Elite Four. Now, going into the Elite Four, if I'm being honest, I think we're going to end up having to try most of the battles more than once. I typically don't want to open up with Swords Dance every time, because I want to see if Absol can brute force his way through without using the move. Now, if a Pokemon has Intimidate, then that changes things, because that's already wrecking our attack stat. If we can't win otherwise, then yeah, I'll go ahead and do Swords Dance strats. The main wall that I think we're going to be trying to break through is going to be Drake, especially given the fact that he has the Intimidate ability Pokemon on his team, but there's no reason in spending too much time speculating when we could just hop into it. Aaron opens up with Mineena, who goes down to a Slash. After that, it's Shiftry, who we can only do about a third of damage to as it uses Swagger. We smack ourselves and it uses Torment, but we do end up taking it down. After that, it's Cacturn, and we can't use Slash because of Torment, so we boost our attack again with Swords Dance, as it uses Needle Arm, and then we can take it out. Crawdaunt we can knock out with a single Thunderbolt, and then his Absol we can take out with Slash to win the first of the Elite Four. Phoebe is next, and she opens up with Dusclops, who likes to spam Protect moves as we go to Bite it. It does hit a soft Shadow Punch and heal up, but we do take it out. Bayonet goes to Red with Bite, hits us with Shadow Ball, then goes down to Thunderbolt. Sableye goes to have with Thunderbolt, and it uses Double Team, and we hit it with Bite as it uses Nightshade. Thankfully, we can hit it next turn for the win. The next Bayonet goes down to a single Bite, and last is another Dusclops, who goes to about half as Earthquake hits us. The berry heals up, we take it to Red, it Earthquakes us down to 9 HP, and then thankfully Phoebe heals up, and we can take it down with 2 more bites before it attacks and moves on. I will say this battle did take 3 times, but only because the Dusclops, the first one, kept using Curse and then spamming Protect, and the clock just kinda ran out for me. On to Glacia. With Glacia, we can take the Celio out in 2 Thunderbolts as it only sets up Hail in the meantime. From there, the Glalie is a bit tankier than the Celio and is able to take us out with just a few Ice Beams. This takes a few turns before we can get the luck right. Once because Celio encored us into dancing to death, and then a few attempts we ended up paralyzed by Body Slam, but eventually the luck lines up just right, and we're able to get 2 Sword Dances off and then wreck her team. With the Wall Rain, it does actually end up surviving, and we have to smack it a few extra times because she keeps healing, before a critical hit is able to finish it off and let us move on to the final Elite Four member, Drake. Drake sends out Shelgon, and we do a couple Swords Dances. Unfortunately, during our setup time, he hits us with Rock Tomb twice to lower our speed both times. We take out the Shelgon and the Altaria, but unfortunately the Kingdra is able to outspeed us and ends our attempt with a Surf. And this takes a while, because even on the attempts that we're able to make it a Salamence, if we've had even one speed drop, it's usually able to wreck us with Crunch, or Flamethrower, or literally whatever it wants. I was considering leveling up because of how many times we've lost, but we finally have an attempt where Shelgon opens up with Protect as we use Swords Dance. It misses Rock Tomb, which allows us to Sword Dance again and then take it out. From there, we can take out a majority of his team without much issue. Once we get to the Salamence, it's able to take us to about 100 HP as we take it to low yellow, but the berry heals it out of healing range. It takes us all the way down to 32 HP, but we're able to connect with another slash to take it out and finally bring this battle to an end. With that out of the way, it's time for the champion, and I'm not going to bother covering this particular set of losses. The Whale Lord especially is able to end basically every attempt with a Rain Dance boosted water spout, and that wrecks us. More often than not, we don't even touch it before it takes us out. This takes the better part of an hour, but we can open up with Swords Dance, and if it uses Rain Dance, we can then attack it, and then it'll hit with Water Spout. After that, we can take it out with another Thunderbolt. The Tentacruel we're able to take down with a single slash, thankfully avoiding a rain-boosted Hydro Pump. With Ludicolo, it begins double teaming, and we take our opportunity to go ahead and do 2 more Sword Dances before taking it out. The Whiscash is a one-shot with Slash, and then the Gyarados is a one-shot with Thunderbolt. Last up is Milotic, and we can actually take it out with a single shot to win the run and the challenge. Now, if you know the game, or you know my channel, you know that while we've won the challenge, there's still a super not-so-secret-anymore Steven fight. When we go to challenge him, we're at level 64, and he opens up with Skarmory, who hits hard with Steel Wing as we set up Swords Dance. We snap back with a Thunderbolt to bring it to red, and then Skarmory heals up, and then it ends up taking us down next turn. We go through a long line of attempts, and finally the failed attempts lead us all the way to level 100. At level 100, we can take out the Skarmory in a single shot, and with the Armaldo, we can take it down if we get some decent flinch luck with Bite. As the Claydol comes out, we actually end up critical hitting it and taking it down with a single Bite as well. Aggron is up, and we can take it to yellow with Thunderbolt as it sets up Solar Beam, and we can take it down with the next turn before it can strike back. When Cradily comes out, it sets up Ingrain as we bite it, and there's a bit of back and forth of it gaining health back with both Giga Drain and Ingrain, but unfortunately it wins the War of Attrition, and we go down. We try this battle about 60 times, and that's unfortunately about as far as we can get. Cradily has some pretty decent defense and special defense, and the only move I can think of that may be to get us a little bit further is Flamethrower, but the problem is I just don't have the time to keep trying, and on top of that I would end up having to double back and go get coins, and then also be able to buy the TM, and it's just, I don't have the time. As it stands right now, I'm actually editing this just a couple of days before it's ready to drop, so I am sorry. It is always something that I could revisit in the future, but hopefully you decide to forgive me. Currently, as a peek behind the curtains, I'm working on the floor in my basement. This will provide hopefully some better sounding recordings and is already providing some extra warmth for me. After this, I think I'll try to do a Chikorita run in Pokemon Fire Red, just because we want to go ahead and keep moving through the starters, and Chikorita was unfortunately cursed with a horrible generation for grass types, but as always, if you liked the video, even if you didn't like the video, think about hitting the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.